Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Want to do a follow-up video on the death of Rush Limbaugh, February 17th, 2021. In the video I did, I talked about how it was a very clear Jesuit ritual, and I was not incorrect about that, but I missed probably the most important part, and I want to cover that now. Rush Limbaugh's last broadcast ever was December 23rd, 2020, exactly 56 days before his death. And when the Rush Limbaugh show launched in the final year of Ronald Reagan's presidency, it launched on 56 stations. And as we'll get to in a moment, his first employee died from cancer as well at age 56. But in light of his show launching in the time of Ronald Reagan, remember, in Gematria, Ronald Reagan equals 56, like Washington, D.C., like Society of Jesus. And of course, Reagan died on June 5th, a date that can be written 5/6 in the majority of the world, like 56. Just the other day, we covered how George P. Shultz, his secretary, died on Ronald Reagan's birthday, and he also died on his 56th day of his age. George P. Shultz was born December 13th, died on his 56th day of his age on Reagan's birthday. And again, if you're new here, 56 is the number in Washington, D.C., which is controlled by the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, who have been there longer than the federal government has. If you don't know the history of D.C., it was once called Rome on the Potomac, owned by Francis Pope, not to be confused with Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope. And by the way, the word pope equals 56, and like we covered yesterday, Limbaugh's death was sync with the pope as well as the superior general of the Jesuits. But consider in 2020, which was the last year of Donald Trump, who's Jesuit-educated at Fordham, whose education began in 1964, 56 years before 2020. Last year on June 5th, they painted Black Lives Matter in the streets of D.C. on the date written 5/6, which was the 16-year anniversary of Ronald Reagan. And, of course, they painted 16th Street with Black Lives Matter, which goes back to the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. But again, all these things are Jesuit ritual, you guys. The Jesuits have controlled this nation from the beginning. Forget what you heard in your history books. They're false. And again, just everything was 56 in 2020. It's been 56 for a long time. Black Lives Matter, 56. Coronavirus, 56. Qasem Soleimani, 56. Supposedly 56 people stampeded at his funeral. Trump vetoed the Iran War Powers Resolution 56 days after it was created, vetoing it on May 6th, another 5/6 date. And not to mention they passed the Iran War Powers Resolution on March 11th, the day the coronavirus pandemic was declared, which was also Qasem Soleimani's birthday, had he been alive. And he probably was, honestly, because the whole thing looked like staged propaganda. Remember that phrase, political theater, the world is a stage. Abraham Lincoln killed at age 56 in a theater. Adolf Hitler commits suicide at age 56 and nobody finds his body. Not to mention Adolf Hitler equals 56. How many signers on the Declaration of Independence? Oh, yeah, that's right, 56. But his first ever employee, Kit Carson, died at age 56. 56 from cancer. He died on January 26th, the same day Kobe Bryant died in history, who ended up being buried in Corona del Mar, which equals 56, right before the coronavirus outbreak. But the day that his first employee died at age 56. It was a date with 62 numerology, and like we talked about yesterday, sacrifice equals 62 and talk radio 62. And Rush Limbaugh died 62 days after the first Jesuit Pope's birthday. The day his first employee died was also a date with 42 numerology, Jesuits 42. Again, the Society of Jesus or the Jesuits, same thing. From Limbaugh's birthday that year to that man's death on January 26th was 14 days later. The word dead and end are 14. Again, he died on the same day Kobe Bryant died, which was a major Jesuit ritual. Kobe died while traveling from Catholic Mass. The Jesuits served the Roman Catholic Church. All roads lead to Rome. Like Rome on the Potomac and D.C., the land of Roman architecture, where the Roman fasces are on the House of Representatives wall. But again, Kobe was buried in Corona del Mar, which is 56 and 70, like coronavirus, reminding that Rush Limbaugh's dead at 70 because Vatican and Francis are 70, and that's where the Jesuits operate out of. Also, with regards to Rush's first employee to die, he had a fateful name, Kit Carson, double 38 connection, death, murder, killing, RIP, all equal 38. Again, that movie poster, Murder by Numbers 38. We've been talking about a lot of dead celebrities in recent days. And 38, again, These same redundant patterns all throughout history. You go back to that story about his death. It was posted. Well, actually, I didn't share the link. I'll go back and put it in later. The mainstream news story about his death was posted at 11:38, 38 minutes after the hour when the news broke. But again, just a reminder about the Jesuits in 56. Pope Francis wrote Fratelli Tutti in 2020, his encyclical about what to do about coronavirus and climate change, two things that equal 56. Not to mention the climate change agenda began in 1965, what to do about it. 56 years before 2021, the year of Agenda 21, where Jesuit and Rush equal 21, the man who's dead in 21. And with regard to this coming right after the Trump acquittal, that happened on a date with 56 numerology, February 13th, 2021. And remember, it was pushed ahead by the Senate with 56 votes, while 56% of America thought he should be found guilty. And that was right after Biden asked 56 Trump-appointed judges to step down. And of course, from the first impeachment on December 18th to the second on January 13th was exactly 56 weeks later, because again, all of this stuff is ritual and theater, and 2020 was 56 years after Donald Trump's Jesuit education began at Fordham, and this is taking place in the time of the 56th governor of New York, Trump's homeland, which is Andrew Cuomo, who also went to Fordham and who has a brother on Jesuit-controlled CNN, and his brother's name, Chris Cuomo, equals 56, and right on down the line. By the way, with regards to January 26th, the day his first employee died, 126, the Jesuits have the Knights Templar cross in their logo, and the Knights Templar motto is, "Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory," which equals 701, which is the 126th prime number, and Ignatius of Loyola, who was killed in 1556, was replaced by the Jewish convert to Catholicism 701 days later. And again, 701 is the 126th prime. Kobe dead in a big Jesuit ritual on 126. Rush Limbaugh's first employee. Kobe Bryant's death was part of the Super Bowl 54 ritual. Rush Limbaugh used to call sports in Kansas City and came out with cancer the day after Super Bowl 54. Remember, Jesuit order equals 54, like Kobe Bean Bryant. And again, Rush called games for the Royals. The Royals won the World Series exactly 222 weeks on the nose before the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. And in that Super Bowl game that the Chiefs won, Andy Reid picked up his 222nd career win on 2/2. And when you write out February 2nd as words, it equals 222. Again, sports, politics, government, media, it's all connected. It's all controlled by the Jesuits. And it's all done by this code, which comes from Kabbalah, because Kabbalah states that God created the world with numbers, letters, and words in its book of formation. And the Jesuits are absolutely into Kabbalah. They're also responsible for our language as we know it, and the calendar system we're on that was all synced up in the 16th century, and I'll talk about that more later today with the Mars mission, in light of the Moon mission, and a few other big NASA rituals. So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker, and until next time.